Hello, my name's Bev and I'm the author of the book Please Eat, A Mother's Struggle to Free Her Teenage Son from Anorexia, which describes our family's battle with the deadly eating disorder, anorexia nervosa, which my teenage son Ben developed back in 2009 when he was just 15 years old. This blog post is from the 20th of March 2011 and it's called Big Plans Are Underway. And that's because I was so determined at this stage to somehow find something that would really help Ben to move forward rather than staying in limbo land, because he hated being in limbo land and wanted to find something that would help him. I hated him being in limbo land and was also desperate to find something that would help him. And so this particular post goes like this. I went into CAMS on Friday where we were seeing the nurse because the psychiatrist is on holiday for 2 weeks, armed with a load of paperwork and a plan for the next few months. I went through it point by point, and on the whole the nurse thought it was all a good idea. Also, it follows on from their suggestion last week to start blind weighing or weighing less frequently. I asked the nurse to look back over the past 6 months, and especially over the last 2 months, to see what the weight gain pattern has been. Unfortunately, it showed a weight maintenance more than anything else. So I said that, although we have experienced massive improvements on many fronts, which we have indeed, the weight gain plan is clearly not working. I also insisted that we examine exactly what a boy of his age and height should be weighing, the minimum, the mid and the maximum, mentioning the WHO, that's the World Health Organization, and BMI guidelines. The nurse had a chart on her which showed that he should be weighing so much minimum, but he is currently well under that and has been hovering around this level since September. I said this isn't okay for a 17-year-old boy and former rugby player. I insisted we move to fortnightly and or blind weighing from now onwards. This way all of us gets a wider picture of what is going on, preferably starting to analyse weight gain over a month and aim at an average of 0.5 kilo a week as per the NICE guidelines. NICE is the National Institute for Clinical Excellence. If we are not achieving this very shortly, then adjustments will be made to food intake. Anyway, the good news is that Ben agreed to all these changes. The only idea he refuses point blank to entertain is the concept of being over a certain weight. At this stage, there is no point in arguing the case because of the eating disorder thinking, so I've just left it for the time being, hoping that weight gain will reduce the eating disorder effect on the logic and the brain, and he will naturally come round to the idea. So I've left this on a back burner for the time being. About exercise, this is being rigidly monitored and reduced. Obviously, if you're going to do things like nice walks in the countryside or in the park, etc., then you can't stop all exercising. It's impossible. Ben has agreed to this too, and I'm monitoring this very carefully to make sure he does. Hopefully the above will achieve some progress, get us out of limbo land, and also enable the CAMS sessions to be put to better use, because the CAMS team won't spend most of the session allaying his fears about the huge amount of weight he's just gained. Now I need to wait for the psychiatrist to get back from her holidays and have a private meeting with her to reinforce this and set up a plan for the next few months. And that's the end of this particular post. Yes, as I've said before, we're desperate to put a stop to the CAMS sessions that were completely hijacked if Ben had gained a tiny bit of weight, because it meant that CAMS session was a total waste of time because Ben was convinced that even the smallest weight gain was a huge amount of weight. And by this stage, the only really successful CAMS sessions are ones where he'd either maintained weight or lost weight, where he was quite calm for the whole session. Considering we only saw CAMS for 60 minutes each week, it was important in my mind that we maximised the use of these sessions rather than spending the valuable 60 minutes firefighting the issue of Ben having gained a tiny bit of weight. And also this yo-yoing effect of gaining a little bit of weight, then losing it, then gaining, then losing, then gaining, then losing, had meant, as I described earlier in this post, that Ben's weight had pretty much maintained for the past few weeks, and we really wanted to move on in every shape and form. Thank you for listening. You'll find a link below to my blog, and you'll also find a link to my website where you can download free PDFs of my blog, and also a link to Amazon where you can buy a copy of my book.